G'day guys, so today we are going to be talking about how to execute a dumbbell flat fly. Fantastic exercise for building out that chest, and the fly is probably the only way to really isolate that chest and really start to dive deep into the chest muscle and just thinking about its contraction. Now obviously we have the dumbbells to deal with here, so first things first, what we're going to do is talk about positioning, where to set yourself up and how to go about this. Number two is we're actually going to talk about how to get the dumbbells up. Okay, and then number three, we're going to talk about the execution of the lift. So first things first, whenever we are doing any press or any fly or any type of movement regarding our chest, we want to make sure that we're creating as much stability as possible. Now, there's a handful of ways you can do this, or there's a handful of ways that you're going to do this, should I say. Number one is you're going to think about pulling our shoulder blades back and down towards our back pockets. Number two, we're going to jam our feet right in as far as we possibly can underneath our backside. This is going to cause what we call thoracic extension, and it's one big chain. So it starts in our feet and comes all the way back up into our chest. Now you can see this when it happens in that if I am like this, you can see that when my hips aren't slightly tilted, that it drops my back. So if I put my feet underneath my backside, my hips tilt, which is now causing me to go a little higher. And then once I pull my shoulder blades back and down, you can see now how much higher I get with my thoracic extension. Now, why is that important? Well, where people get into strife with this exercise is they overload their anterior delt. So what happens is that they lay there flat and start to do this fly motion and end up loading their anterior delt because they are rounded off. So they're actually flying, let's say they fly like this. You can see how much my shoulders are so much ahead of my chest, and as a result, they're the ones going to be taking the full brunt and just be copping and bashing the entire lift. But you can see that when I pull my shoulder blades back and down, so I am in this position here, how much my chest really opens up. Okay, feel very exposed, but also I can engage my chest a great deal more. Okay, now, so that's why we want to create or pull our shoulder blades back and down, is to open up that chest, pronounce that chest, make sure that the load is going through our chest. A few little things that we need to be aware of when it comes to a fly. A fly is all about the stretch at the bottom. Okay, it's about coming down and getting that stretch through the chest. So we need to make sure that we put a lot of emphasis on the eccentric portion, so the lowering. Instead of just dropping out, okay, we need to control down, open up, okay, take those hands out as wide as possible, and then come back in. Okay, a lot of people will just go boom and then wonder why potentially their shoulders are sore, and because of a lack of stability, they're probably not getting the most out of the lift anyway. Let's talk about stability one more time with the flat back. How do we create a flat back, and what are we looking for? Well, this is a very big over-exaggeration, but let's pretend that the scapula sits on our back like this. Our lats pull the scapula back and down. And this is where we want to sit with a nice flat back. So, say we're in this position here, we're looking to do this, and that sits us, or has our shoulder blades sitting back and nice and flat, and that's where we can fly from. Okay, let's talk about the dumbbells and how to get them up. So many people struggle with this concept, and it's really, really simple. It's about using your legs as levers, okay? So when you grab a hold of the big heavy weight, now obviously this isn't the most heaviest weight going around, but let's assume that it's your max set and we're getting all G'd up. First things first is you want to start like a deadlift, bring it up to your knees and sit back, okay? And we want these right up to the tops of our knees. And then using our legs, we're going to flick 1, 2 quickly, okay? So again, we're going to go bop, bop, and I'm in position. Okay, you cannot stuff this up because you're using your legs as the powering force, or you're not really using your body or your upper body at all. So you should be in position pretty quickly. Okay, so again, right at the tops of my knees, using my legs as a lever, okay? I'm gonna bang, bang, roll. Okay, now we're in this position. Now, if anyone knows anything about jiu-jitsu, when you place weight on your chest, it becomes a fixed point and it's actually hard to move yourself. So what you can do, you can use this weight to advantage, is you can actually start to move your legs and get into position like so, all right? And then try and wedge your shoulder blades back and down, all in the comfort of the weight on your chest. From here, we're gonna press, and now we're in position. Okay, so from this position here, what we're going to do is we're going to come out nice and wide and control our eccentric portion and think about pulling from my pinkies. And the reason why we want to do this is because at the top, we want a slight little internal rotation. And when we do this, your chest is going to come alive. Okay, so we're going to control our negative. 1, 2, 3. Feel that big stretch. Bang. Again. 1, 2, 3. Bang. Now, you know that you're not executing this lift correctly because you will feel it all jammed up in here, and the load will be up in there, and that sore point will be up in your shoulder joint here. You should be feeling that big stretch coming from the middle of your chest, okay, and not in your shoulder joints. Okay, so if you're not pulling your shoulder blades back down far enough, that will occur. So I cannot stress enough, shoulder blades back and down, open up that chest, big stretch, pull in. All right, team? And that there is how you want to go about doing a dumbbell chest fly.